You know, I'm pretty sure this is the first ever live stream where I started with a full black screen. What's up, everyone? This is Spirit Rosewolf. I don't know if you heard my first response, and unfortunately, I probably should have waited like a couple seconds for that to actually come in. In any case, welcome to another live stream. It has been at least a week. Probably it's mostly just due to me not feeling, up to streaming recently. But for today, instead of doing more Final Fantasy 11, which I really should be doing, or Final Fantasy 7, but to be fair, I am waiting on two people in order to do Final Fantasy 7. Instead, today we're not going to be playing a completely different game in a completely different series. No, we're gonna hop right into a completely different Final Fantasy game, because why not take on multiple JRPGs at once? Yeah, this is probably going to be a huge mistake, but I felt like playing this, so why not? So today we're going to be playing a very interesting game, both as an interesting installment in the franchise and also as a surprisingly nostalgic game for me. I will start it right now so it can actually come in through the stream layout. Okay, but first I actually have to move the window because the window for some reason started all the way in a completely different location where I didn't want it at. And there we go. And I'll just let the intro play. It is a surprisingly beautiful intro, which I believe has a song that was exclusive to the English version. I think for some reason they had a completely different vocal song in the Japanese version, although that's only what I've heard. Who knows if I'm right or not. Tetsuya Nomura, the main character designer. Yoshitaka Amano, surprisingly enough, he was credited here, even though I don't think he made any... No, actually, he did make art for the game. It was a promotional art of all the characters. And God, what an amazing promotional art. I will always be a Yoshitaka Amano stan. Thank you very much. So yeah, if it wasn't obvious enough, we're playing Final Fantasy 13. If the title didn't give it away, I probably should have made the title to something completely different, just to fool people. But yeah, we're playing Final Fantasy 13. As I stated earlier, it is a surprisingly nostalgic game for me. The story of this game is that basically... Well, I think I stated this before in Final Fantasy 11, but I originally started with Dissidia Final Fantasy as my first ever Final Fantasy game. Yes, the crossover game being my first take on the franchise as a whole. That was not confusing in the slightest. But in terms of my first official Final Fantasy game, that is actually a toss-up between Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 1 for the PSP, and Final Fantasy 8 for the PlayStation 1, because I decided to buy 3 completely different Final Fantasy games all at once, because I was so moved by Dissidia, and also Dissidia Duodecim, which I got just a couple months after the original Dissidia. So this game holds a special place in my heart as the technically first Final Fantasy game that I played, and also the first Xbox 360 game that I played as well. Well, that's not actually true. The first game for the Xbox 360 that I technically played was Sonic 06, and like Final Fantasy 13, I also have a soft spot for that game. But you gotta admit, from the intro, this game looks to be extremely beautiful. So I will definitely enjoy treading back into this familiar territory that is Final Fantasy 13 and discover certain bits of it that probably don't hold up to this day. Oh, what's up, Green? Number 7. Man loses his mind watching the worst Final Fantasy game ever. I gotta really think about that, because there are a lot of stinkers in Final Fantasy, and most of them I actually like. So this playthrough will not only, excuse me, will not only be my tread back into Final Fantasy 13, but also be my experience into why exactly it is considered a bad game. Because even I had to admit, I like Final Fantasy 13, but I had major problems with it back in the day when I first played it. So I will rediscover all those problems once again, and probably figure out why I hated them and why I feel, or certain parts of the game that I feel could have done better, and how they probably could have done better. I am very interested to see how my opinions will change about this game. So overall, that's going to be the scope of this playthrough. I have played the game before, obviously, so this is not a blind playthrough. So before we actually get in, let's check the settings real quick. Always got to have this on, even though it technically spoils all the character names before they actually show up. And everything else is good. Unfortunately, one thing about this game is that it doesn't have any sound settings. So when the music is extremely low in a certain section of the game, it is going to stay low, which I had serious problems with when I first played this game. I used to play this on a CRT television, and let me tell you, the audio on those things, not so good. Not so good at all. Well, in any case, I am not going to play easy mode, obviously, so we're going to go into normal mode now. Yeah, I selected normal mode for battles to change the difficulty level at any time. Oh, I didn't know you can actually change the difficulty level. Well, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't change it any other way, so let's get into it. Final Fantasy 13. My first Final Fantasy was Tactics Advance. My first mainline game was 3. Those are two pretty good titles, I have to admit.
After we awoke, or the beginning of the end.
Oh my god, 13 days. I just remembered one of the biggest disappointments in this game involving the 13 days. Oh, I am super excited now to get into this. Also, as a side note, as I'm live streaming this, I will also be watching a Let's Play of this game on the side. I will link the Let's Play in the description below. It is Mysterious JG's channel, and he Let's Played Final Fantasy 13 like 8 years ago. He's one of my favorite Let's Players on YouTube, and his Final Fantasy 13 Let's Play is a classic in my opinion. So if anyone actually wants to see an experienced playthrough of that, just wait until this becomes a VOD so I can actually link the playlist into it. Okay, so first things first, we get into immediate action, which now explains why I named the title as Final Fantasy 7 but prettier. Because you gotta admit, this game is absolutely gorgeous. Also, be sure to tell me, guys, if my audio is lower than the game audio so I can change it, because, yeah, I won't know. Oh, and get used to Lightning having these gravity-defying powers now, because she's not gonna have them after a couple of cutscenes.
They all want to fight.
Good for them.
Man, Saz, I completely forgot how surprisingly stale your voice acting was in this cutscene, which isn't the case for the rest of the game. Loving that glamour shot, people. You can tell this cutscene was made specifically for an E3 trailer. Because you're gonna see a whole lot of stuff happening and no explanation whatsoever, which is kind of like half of this game in a nutshell. It's pretty, but it doesn't explain a lot. At least unless you read all of the data logs, which I will be doing. So yeah, let's recap exactly what we've seen so far. These people have boarded a train that's filled with armed men. We don't know if they're mercenaries. We don't know if they're a part of some group or something. And suddenly all hell is breaking loose when the train crashes and the people inside of it are revolting. And suddenly monsters, cybernetic monsters, in a land that looks extremely sci-fi. Again, don't get used to the fact of the game being... don't get used to the fact, no. Don't expect to have an explanation to all this anytime soon. Get used to Lightning being absolutely perfect at everything. The sequel won't even shut up about her. Hot take, but I actually like Lightning, and I don't actually think she's that perfect, or at least portrayed as perfect. A lot of people like to portray Lightning as perfect when they don't actually understand the flaws that she has. Although, that's probably just me. Actually, no, there's a lot of Lightning fans out there. But a lot of Lightning haters as well, which I will respect that opinion, but I will respectfully disagree at the same time. So yeah, going back to the title of the part again, you may notice a couple of parallels from Final Fantasy VII. The start being extremely action-packed heavy, fighting a giant mech with a very large tail on its back. Your main character is wielding a sword and looks kind of a badass in a way, and spoiler alert, she is also classified as a type of soldier. Meanwhile, your party member is a black guy. So yeah, a lot of parallels to Final Fantasy VII, and you will see a lot of that in this particular intro, and none of the finesse of Final Fantasy VII. So we have a chance to view the tutorial of this game. I think the tutorials are a little bit too long for their own good, especially for this intro. So I will just get into quickly how the battle system works. So at the moment you have your three commands at the bottom left. You have the auto battle, which allows you to just automatically bring up commands that the AI will implement for you to fight. You can go to abilities to select your commands, which you can use, and the way you use commands is by using the ATB bar on top of the commands, which fills up over time, similar to most Final Fantasy games, except each bar is used whenever an attack is used, and every attack has a different amount of how much the bar is taken. Most of the time it's just 1 bar. Sometimes you get like 2 bar attacks. So at the moment we only have 2 bars in our ATB, so we can only usually do like 2 1-bar attacks or 1 2-bar attacks. Pretty simple. Items are just basically items, you use them and they take no ATB costs. So ultimately this game is very focused on the auto battle system. As you will see, I will do this entire beginning boss battle with just using auto battle. The name of the game with Final Fantasy 13 is Auto Battling is Your Best Friend and the most boring friend you'll ever have. The biggest complaint of Final Fantasy 13 is that auto battle is basically the only thing you do in this game. Granted, later on, I will not be using auto battle all too much, as I much prefer just picking my own commands instead of letting the AI actually choose for me. Oh, the kooky black guy trope. Get used to it. Which is ironic considering Saz is probably the most well-written character in this game. Not gonna lie there. Could have worded that differently. You know, the one time she actually sounds concerned about him.
Heads up. This thing won't give up.
Don't mind me, I'm just head bopping in the background to this amazing battle theme. Yes, this is actually the battle theme that's playing right now, called Blinding Light, I believe. When the violins kick in, you know a battle's gonna be badass. So yeah, this is basically just the second wave of the exact same boss battle. He has a little bit more health. What is the thing even called? The Mana Spin Warmech. Mana Spin? Does that even mean anything? Why am I even bothering? So yeah, watch me play through this entire battle using auto battle, while most likely using at least one potion, because usually when I play through this boss battle, I end up having to use at least one potion. I swear they probably did that on purpose. In fact, I'm going to use one right now, because they decided to give you like 10 potions at the beginning of the game. They knew you would try to not use auto battle as much as possible. Oh, and Saz ended up getting the final hit. Good job, Saz. And here's the ranking system of this game. In terms of the ranking system, you get better items when you have 5 stars. Getting 5 stars is a little bit bullshit, depending on the battle. You have your battle duration, your target time. The target time, you usually need to get the time underneath the target time in order to get a higher ranking, and points per second, initiative bonus, those really don't matter all too much. Those will be introduced later for normal battles, but really the biggest thing is the target time and how fast you can actually complete a battle. It gets harder as the game goes on though. And of course we get 6 potions, which I think we would have gotten even if we didn't get 5 stars. I'm gonna love that song, and you're never gonna get sick of it, guys. Oh no! Good thing there's a lake down here. Yes, there is actually a lake all the way down there.
Oh goodness. Whew. We did it.
So can we actually get an explanation for all of that? Like, why am I even here? Why are you here? Why are they flying over us? Okay, that's pretty badass.
Aren't you supposed to protect civilians, soldier?
She is a soldier.
I mean, you are Sanctum, aren't you?
I mean, I already spoiled that, so.
What are you doing trying to stop the purge? Why don't you tell me that?
I was a soldier.
Sanctum, purge, bringing up a bunch of terms that we have no idea what they mean. Oh yeah, he keeps like a chocobo chick in his afro.
Chocobo, we just can't catch a break, can we?
I mean, it's cute.
Yeah, that's a good
Not gonna lie.
Oh well. Better follow up.
The hanging edge.
I'm getting too old for
The restricted zone. Why would you call something the hanging edge? Well, I mean, there's a lot of edges here, and it's... all of these bridges seem to be hanging off of nothing, so that's fair. Again, this game is beautiful. I will not stress that enough. Okay, so we have the Y-axis inverted and X-axis standard camera setting. Why they would have inverted be the opposite directions of the camera control, I have no idea. But this is actually good camera control. So thank you, game, for actually giving me the default. So you either play this like Kingdom Hearts, or you just select what the game tells you to select. I mean, yeah. Although you don't really move around like Kingdom Hearts. It's strictly just a turn-based RPG with no ability to move your characters during battle. It's strictly just for appearance purposes. They don't allow you to move your characters until Final Fantasy Lightning Returns, so yeah. So the JonTron meme is right when the game plays itself. Kinda, yeah. Let's see. They finally introduced the data logs. You possess an advanced digital journal known as a data log that autonomously streams information deemed pertinent. Oh, just like my live streams. Except I don't stream information that I deem is correct. I just stream whatever I want to. Whenever the data... I mean, if that was the case, then I wouldn't be streaming Final Fantasy 13. Whenever the data log records a new entry, a notice will appear in the upper left corner of the screen. To peruse entries, press... I'm using a controller, so I have no idea what that's supposed to be. To open the main menu, and then select data logs. I'm guessing that's supposed to be A. Oh wait, screw that. No, the camera is all wrong. The camera's all wrong. Apparently, whenever I point upward, the camera goes down. No, I do not want that. Okay, I forgot to check that. So, let's see. Camera up, down. Dual introverted? No, I want standard. Okay, there we go. So I needed to put it on standard. Okay, game, never mind. Apparently it wasn't looking out for me. Oh well. Also, I completely forgot that the camera in this game is like super heavy. Like, I'm pointing left, and then I'm pointing right. Left. Right. You notice how it takes like a second for it to actually register and move? Yeah, that's kind of how the game is. So Spirit, since we have yet to learn the real plot, want to make our own? Humor me, Green. What exactly can you come up with? Speaking of which, let's see what the data logs have to offer. So, one thing about Final Fantasy 13 that I never did back in the day was I never actually opened up the data logs. They were always something that I completely ignored. But for this playthrough, we're actually going to look at them just to see what kind of stuff they have here. So, let's go to general gameplay basics. Yeah, the basic controls apparently. So, not going to bother with that. Primer basics? What are primers? Oh, that just explains the ATB mechanics, which I've already explained. Yeah, this is mostly just control options. Enemy intel. We get to learn about the enemies. Alright. What is with this giant scorpion machine that is totally not a ripoff of Final Fantasy 7? The Annihilators. Oh, it's literally just the log. Okay. Well, I mean, this is good when you're writing a guide and want to find out like how to beat certain enemies and what their weaknesses are, if you didn't already figure that out during the game. So wait, level 75? What why is it level 75 and only has like 300 HP? That makes no sense. Alright, and events. Oh, this is where the meat comes in. Alright, so this is like the important stuff with the data logs. This actually explains the plot. I know. Surprising. So let's get into it. Defiers of Fate, Chapter 1. Lightning and Sads, oh, by the way, their names are Lightning and Sads, by the way, are held aboard a military purge train, along with a group of civilians destined for exile. So now we know what was going on with those passengers in the train. They were apparently set up by the military in order to be exiled from somewhere. Who knows where? In stark contrast to the uncertain and despairing people around her, Lightning appears determined and focused. She seizes upon an instant of inattention to disable a guard, and her impressive display inspires Saz and the other civilians to take up arms against the soldiers. After clashing with army forces, the train crashes to a halt in the war-torn district known as the Hanging Edge. So it was always war-torn? Okay. Saz attempts to figure out Lightning's angle, but she shows little desire to share. The former soldier throws herself into battle without the slightest hint of hesitation. What could be driving her? And that's it for the plot synopsis so far. Well, at least it actually explained why they were in that train in the first place, because the game doesn't bother explaining it in the actual cutscenes. Plot begins when and her pimp what? Okay, well, I walked into that one, Green. Liberate some passengers to add to his... Okay, well, are you gonna write a fanfiction about that now? Oh, Saz, always the kooky one. Those stereotypes never leave Japan, apparently. I mean, they do, but it's never not that good. Alright, our first save. We can apparently shop this early. I did not remember being able to shop. Oh, but you only get Phoenix Gems and potions. Not worth it. Okay, seriously, was this always like this? apparently this area is supposed to be war-torn, so according to the data log, apparently this place was in the heat of battle for a long time. Who knows? Who knows? Many and various enemies stalk the roads that you must travel. Upon entering an enemy detection radius, the minimap in the upper right corner of the screen will flash a warning. Coming into contact with any enemy will initiate a battle. No duh. Well, at least this explains that Final Fantasy XIII doesn't have any random battles whatsoever. The game actually focuses on battles with enemies that you see on the overworld, which is something that a lot of people are actually a fan of. So as you see here, you can just walk up to the enemy and fight them. And there's certain occasions where you can actually get through at certain enemies and not have to fight them whatsoever. But for now, we're at the beginning of the game, so it really doesn't matter. Aw, I didn't even get to hear the rest of Blinded by Light. Oh well.
What do you suppose this is?
Who knows, Saz? Will the game ever explain what exactly this is? Will it explain why the army is leaving its toys out? What exactly this toy even is? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll explain it in the data log. I doubt it, though. Oh, so you give an explanation to everything else except the chocobo? Okay. Saz, I am literally just right here. Oh, now you're fixing to ditch me.
Great. The entire army came out to play.
Okay, that's it. I'm going home.
Seem very interested in our side of the story.
I'm so not interested in this guy anymore. In fact, why is she even helping him? Oh, right, because she decided to ignore her exile and actually fight the army? The army of what? Psycom? Because apparently they're called Psycom for a reason. Yeah, you can probably tell that any battle at this point in the game is absolutely nothing. Oh, well, okay, camera. Apparently the camera just wanted to decide on zooming into Lightning's back multiple times. I mean, her cape does look absolutely fabulous. Not gonna lie. But when it comes to these enemies, you see one, then you see them all. Oh, I forgot, you can actually move the camera in battle as well. So dynamic! That's probably the feeling that they wanted to do with this game in the first place. Oh, look at that! A 2 ATB bar using attack, known as Blitz. I mean, it worked, so I guess Blitz is like an AoE attack of some sort. Unfortunately, if you're not fighting more than one enemy, then it's not really that useful. Okay, we really should be careful here, Saz, because like they're literally shooting like inches away from us. Oh man, Saz is literally just a mood. Not only is he the best character in this game, but he's also an absolute mood. Oh, are we actually gonna get an explanation?
Wanting to get purged, I get. But taking on trained soldiers?
Better to die than get sent to Pulse. It's hell for Brimstone.
Yeah, well, hell's not
Oh,
sounding too
they
bad.
create monsters apparently.
Paradise.
Domesticated peacekeepers. Nothing to worry about.
Maybe not for
Make it
soldiers.
sound so easy.
I'm trying to say, hey.
That's exactly what he said. Alright, doggos. Nothing personal. Also, if you haven't noticed, Lightning is using a gunblade as her weapon. Yep, technically the second character to use a gunblade in Final Fantasy. The first being Squall Leonhardt. Well, actually, third character, because Cypher Almosi also used a gunblade. And Laguna technically used one too at some point. Okay, she's like the fourth character. Anyone from 11? No, okay. Yeah, she is the first character. Oh wow, Lightning actually might die in this battle. Never mind. No care whatsoever. But if I were the head of the game, Saz would be the protagonist. I mean, he is a better protagonist, I will admit. He has a better story at the very least. I feel that Lightning is an okay protagonist for what she does. Saz is a great support character. It's difficult to explain how good Lightning is without going into spoilers. So I'll just leave it as the game continues forward. Although they are giving us a lot of save points. I don't know why. Saz, I'm literally down here. Man, why do I even hang out with people like him? Oh, hello, flying enemies that totally do not look like enemies from Final Fantasy VII. You know, the ones with the helicopter propeller. Okay, they don't look like the helicopter propellers, but same concept. Okay, AI, the blitz was not needed there whatsoever. You know what? Using auto battle throughout this entire tutorial is probably also a good way to show off how diluted the AI for the auto battle really is. And also how super simple most of these battles are, to the point where even if you don't care about them whatsoever, you're still gonna get 5 stars. An iron bangle. Okay, so those are what the treasures are. And there's apparently an achievement in this game for getting every single treasure. I will try that, although rewatching Mysterious JG's Let's Play of this game, I can already tell that it's definitely going to be a bit difficult. So we can give a character like 50 plus more HP. And I see Saz has the 220. Meanwhile, Lightning has lower HP than him, so we're going to make Lightning even better. Which I'm pretty sure Green is foaming at the mouth right now. Oh. So, what was that about leaving you behind, Saz?
Cold-blooded murder.
Ooh. That is a very long drop. Are we gonna fight an airship? Are we gonna fight an airship? Oh no, we're not gonna fight an airship. It's going away. Alright, 50 gil. Get used to getting more gil because you don't get gil from battles in this game. Another big issue that we'll get into way later on into the story. Because trust me, it's gonna be an issue. Now, CAI, that is a perfect opportunity to use Blitz, and you did it. Good job. I'm proud of you for once, AI. SMT auto-battling is a privilege for overpowered characters. Yes, and if you use it as a weak character, or as a character who hasn't had enough, Oh, I like how they say preemptive strike, and I think we're actually going to get a preemptive strike at this point. Oh, never mind. They literally just bit their tongue when they said that. Good job, Lightning. We're getting a tutorial for items at this point, even though I used an item already. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do that. Also, I noticed that the guy with the gun technically has lower HP, so we're going to take care of him real quick. Good job, Saz. One of the few sensible guys in Final Fantasy to actually use a gun. And not just a gun blade, actual guns. But yeah, in terms of SMT characters having auto battle, yeah, you only use auto battle when your character is super powerful. And if you don't, then... Oh! I can't believe Saz is dead. Mistake that! I can't believe all those people are dead. Well, I gotta give Final Fantasy 13 one thing.
What do you suggest we do?
Quiet.
They definitely raised the death count for most Final Fantasy games. Oh no, she just Thanos snapped Saz.
Don't leave me!
Let go.
The hell no! You're my only way out of here!
No touchy. Lightning smacking dudes. Probably one of the best parts in this game. Whenever she does that. You'd be surprised how many times she smacks people.
Right?
Looks that way.
So, we're not going to ignore the fact that she basically tried to desert Saz by using her anti-gravity equipment. Which, by the way, is the last time we actually see that equipment being used for a very, very, very long time. I'm having a moment, Saz! Also, how far was she supposed to go from here? Wow, that is pretty far. It's like that bridge all the way over there. I'm guessing her equipment was able to actually levitate her that far. Pretty surprising. Oh, Saz, you unfortunately left me behind with a bunch of packs, with a pack of angry doggos. Thankfully, when we get into actual battles, then you teleport right next to me. Okay, that was probably the worst time to use Blitz auto battle. Thank you. Okay, will this time screw up? Oh no, it didn't. Good job, game. Good job. At least it's doing better than I would have expected. Oh man, Saz literally just capped it right as it was in the air. These battles may be a bit boring. No, not maybe. They're totally boring. But at least the music actually makes it a little bit better. They knew what they were doing when they were writing Blinded by Light. Which, by the way, is one of the best Final Fantasy battle theme songs ever. Fight me. Lightning. We were supposed to go back there. Even Saz was wondering, like, what the hell is this bitch doing? So at this point, for people who actually don't know the story of Final Fantasy 13, you may be wondering, why are these characters getting exiled? And why do they have custom weapons made specifically for them?
Can't you, like, pull some strings or something?
That they were able to hide inside of the train. I mean, I don't get how Lightning was able to hide her gunblade while on the train. Oh no, wait, she technically found her gunblade, didn't she? I don't remember. Even though the intro was like a couple minutes ago. Ooh, Pally would love this guy's design.
He wants to kill us without a fight.
Well, what if we wanted to surrender like as soon as you said that? Okay, dude, okay. So, attack chains. I will actually take this tutorial because this one is actually a little bit more complicated than the others. To initiate an attack chain, first select Auto Battle or Attack from the Abilities menu. And choose the Psycom Marauder. Oh, it's giving me like a full step-by-step tutorial apparently. Okay. Select the bar, or see the bar displayed beneath the target's name. That is known as the chain gauge. Keep an eye on the chain gauge as you strike. Okay. Yeah, if you've noticed by the recent battles that we've done, the chain gauge up there gains the orange gauge whenever we attack them. When you attack an enemy, its chain gauge fills. Hit home and the percentage beneath increases. This percentage is called the chain bonus. The more times you hit an enemy, the more damage it will take from subsequent attacks. Continue pummeling the Psycom Marauder, boosting your chain gauge or chain bonus until the gauge is full. Okay, can we not attack the enforcers though? Okay, yeah, let's attack the enforcers first, game. Don't know why it wants me to attack the Marauder when we can take these guys out no problem. Now we can focus on the Marauder. Oh wow, its gauge is going surprisingly high up very fast. That doesn't usually happen in most battles in this game. And for some reason, he's very fascinated with attacking Saz. Once the chain gauge is full, one further blow will stagger your foe. That's one sentence, okay. A staggered enemy takes greater damage when attacked. Chaining attacks to stagger powerful adversaries is essential to defeating them. Be aware, however, that an enemy's chain gauge begins to drain the moment it is staggered. Once the chain gauge is empty, the enemy will no longer be staggered. So basically, you stagger them, which you can do, and at that point you can do bonus damage. Your damage becomes higher, and the more times you attack, the higher the chain bonus goes, which means the higher your attacks will become in terms of damage. Later on in the game, we'll get mechanics where we can raise the chain bonus even higher in a faster succession, which is using magic on them. So once we get those mechanics, then taking advantage of staggering and chain bonuses will be much, much easier.
So, soldier. What's your angle?
Oh, I get it. She doesn't want to explain that the game actually explains stuff. Playing hard to get lightning.
Did you? Did you think I'm gonna go out there and just tell everybody your secrets?
Legasp. A term that I do not know of.
Still happy you tagged along.
I mean, I would if I knew what a pulse fallacy even was, which I probably do.
Didn't have a choice.
Due to my reaction. That is a pretty weird looking airship. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I don't even think that is an airship. It's probably just a ship. Why, what, how, who are the types of questions one should ask as far as the plot is concerned. We'll get used to it though. Honestly, no, we'll never get used to how this game never explains anything. Just a bit of a intellectual guess, but I am assuming that Cocoon is the name of their planet, monarchy, kingdom.
More like extermination.
Huge.
Nice pun, huge.
So sorry. I didn't mean to.
These people need heroes.
Which you clearly are not.
Here. You keep your cool, and they will too. You got it?
Got it.
What's our motto?
The army's no match for Nora.
That a boy.
Please don't call me attaboy. And please stop ruffling my hair. He looked so uncomfortable when Snow was talking to him. The Resistance Front. We're getting into the Resistance now. The Resistance of what? The Resistance of who? We'll figure out later. Maybe. It's Snow, my boy. Hey, Scar, you're actually going to witness all the Final Fantasy 13 characters in their own game. And by the way, I believe Mysterious JG in his Let's Play actually missed this treasure. So, oh no wait, it was a completely different treasure, yeah. He missed an iron bangle, apparently, in one of the snow sections. So, that apparently wasn't it. But yeah, we have Snow here. Look at that hunk of... What do they call them nowadays? Blonde himbo goodness? Yeah, that's what he is. Probably the best way to describe Snope in general. Also, Can we appreciate the fact that this planet, monarchy, kingdom, whatever Cocoon is supposed to be, that the people who live here, their fashion sense are literally out of this world.
It's over. It's all over.
Why is everyone showing off so many skin?
I don't want to die.
I'm just gonna die anyway.
Oh, there's like a little flag there. If only we could read what it said. Yeah, I guess that's one way of giving NPCs dialogue. If you go literally right next to them, scrub up to their models, and see if they actually say anything. And they literally only have one line. Okay, game. So, is this a free roam fight? No. No, it isn't, Scar. Not at all. It is a turn-based JRPG, similar to other Final Fantasy games. Except, in certain people's opinions, much worse. We'll get into how worse it can be as we get into the battles. Because trust me, how easy the battles are not going to change with snow.
This is crazy.
Then take a nap.
But at least we get introduced to
Sure. And when we're taking a dirt nap, you can save them all.
Oh, it's even worse.
Snow's friends, who can literally be described as like one trope characters.
Our enemy's the Cocoon Sanctum. Their dreaded Psycom, no less.
Oh my god, we're actually getting context for these terms now.
Nothing but a whole bunch of bluster and bullying. They've got nothing on Nora.
Well.
Oh, and suddenly, and as we're now getting context for old terms, we're now getting introduced to new terms like Nora, which I'm assuming is the group name.
Pay for this.
Well, at the very least, we now have a new data log to look into. Oh, and we have new characters besides Snow. We have random hot-headed guy and girl. That is basically their characters in a nutshell. Chapter 1. Hey, we have 2 new data logs. Let's see if this can actually tell us more about the story. Fields of War. Suspected citizens of Cocoon are wrenched from their tranquil existence and threatened with exile to the world of Pulse. The purge has begun, so Pulse is a world now. They're being teleported to a brand new world. The land below is set to crawl with unknown perils. Bleh. And terrified civilians begin to rebel against the purge. A revolt also occurs on the train transporting purge deportees as Lightning's battle against the guards galvanizes the other prisoners into action. The train comes to a halt in the district of Hanging Edge, now a hellish war zone where soldiers open fire indiscriminately upon civilians. Ooh, this is getting pretty spicy in terms of topics. Lightning makes her way through the middle of the conflict, all but ignoring her uninvited companion Saz, who for some reason says she's ignoring him, despite going ahead of her, all the while complaining that she is going ahead of him. She seems determined to press onwards, even when the path before her is destroyed by military strikes. And random bullets are flying all over the place, including inches just away from her. Another rebellion. The peaceful citizens of Cocoon... I'm going to try to do a different voice when I do these. Of Cocoon live in constant fear of invasion by the forces of Pulse. The world below the world below and supposed home of the terrors unknown. So there are people who live in Pulse who are apparently dangerous. Good to know. Or where even a single Pulsian agent to be discovered on Cocoon, panic and civilian unrest would be sure to follow, threatening the very fabric of society. To prevent such a calamity, the Sanctum, Cocoon's governing body, initiates the Purge, a government initiative officially entailing the deportation of all those who may have come into contact with corrupting Pulsian influence. So basically they're deporting all the people who they think are unclean filth. Well, this game was very ahead of its time in terms of the plot. It's too bad that the plot doesn't actually tell you any of this. However, the Sanctum army is now brutally slaughtering the civilians they were supposed to be deporting, realizing that the purge is nothing more than a massacre in disguise. Did we? Snow leads the young freedom fighters of Nora in an effort to protect the purge deportees from the Sanctum soldiers. Oh, so at least we get context as to why Snow is here, what exactly Nora is, and we also find out what the Sanctum is, which is essentially the governing force of Cocoon. Which apparently SciComm is a task force created underneath SciComm, or not SciComm, the Sanctum. Well, at least we're actually getting explanations to all of this stuff. To be honest, it should have been by the way it looks graphics-wise. You're gonna be sorely disappointed by what it looks like when we get into Battle Scar. I'm gonna love this playthrough. Please tell me when you do these live streams. Oh, totally. I'm gonna ping you every time. Nice poses, gang. Looking like actual heroes. Also, two more sensible characters who actually use guns. Man, this game is really killing it. Also, Snow using hand grenades, which is not a new thing for Final Fantasy, considering Final Fantasy 7 allowed you to use hand grenades as actual items. So in the context of job classes or usual Final Fantasy shtick of characters and weapons, Snow here is essentially the monk of the game. The male Tifa, considering he's a himbo in a way. A character for the fangirls, if you will. For the female audience, at the very least. He uses his fists to fight and apparently hand grenades, which is, I'm not gonna lie, pretty badass. Wait, I am confused. What is that combat? I told you it was turn-based. Yeah, realistic turn-based. Even though it's supposed to be fantasy. And they're so boring to fight. Like, literally, we kill them in one turn.
Hey, that's not a plan. Real heroes don't need plans.
Oh. Gag me with a spoon, LeBro. Oh, by the way, her name's LeBro. You wouldn't know that unless you have the subtitle names on. So yeah, Scar, in terms of context, Final Fantasy 13 is usually polarized as having the worst gameplay in the franchise. As this game is mostly reliant on you using auto battle all the time. As you can see here, I'm not even choosing my commands from this menu. I'm actually just pressing auto battle over and over again. Because why not? It doesn't really matter because the game will choose my options for me. And to be fair, this is the tutorial section of the game. But fortunately, the tutorial section... The tutorial section isn't where the constant use of auto battle ends. In fact, the entire game is basically comprised of auto battle.
How about this?
Yeah, I know they're making other games that about this game. Well, yeah, they do have sequels for Final Fantasy 13, so I will play those in the future. Keep in mind. But for now, we're going through the adventures of Snow and his posse of weirdly dressed, weirdly posing gang who are fighting the army, who are apparently slaughtering a bunch of innocent people. Again, we only know that through the data logs. In my first playthrough, I was completely confused about everything that was happening. Oh, the hand grenade was actually useful, unlike Lightning's Blitz. I guess that means Snow is a better character than the Lightning. Please play Lightning Returns. You know Lightning Returns? I will definitely play that one day. Technically, it's the third game in the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, so I will play that like later on in the future. So you're gonna have to give me some time about that, Scar. Oh, speaking of time, we're gonna meet your favorite character, Scar, in this cutscene. And I think you already know which one it is. We're also gonna meet my favorite character, depending on how I feel. Who's not your favorite character, Scar?
Careful with those.
Oh, the silly young ones.
Don't worry. No one's moving to Pulse today. We'll clear you a path out of here, so be ready to...
Wait! Let me fight with you! You can't expect us to just sit here!
Good help.
I mean, to be fair, they really have no other place to go to after this, considering they've been branded as exiled from the public eye of their entire planet. So apparently we're gonna have civilians fight.
Here you go. And one for you.
Fighting in a civil war, essentially.
Here's yours. Take care now.
Hope! Yes, Scar, it's Hope. Oh, and I spoke over his first voice line.
So I just
Hold it steady. Yeah, feels good. Yep.
And then someone shoots the other person by accident.
You sure?
Yeah. Moms are tough.
Okay, I will respect that, because moms definitely are tough.
All right,
Although she did raise a lot of red death flags during that entire cutscene. Okay, so maybe giving the gun to the little girl is probably not a good idea.
First impression of
Especially since she probably could have shot you there.
All right, lay low.
At least he played around with her.
Clear out the area. We're going home together.
Yay!
Come on!
Nobody believes that.
right.
Seriously, even the kids have horrible fashion senses.
Come on.
You know, I just noticed all the people are kind of wearing the exact same outfit, except for the important characters. Because you gotta know that they're important. It's okay. My death flags were just a coincidence. I'm definitely not going to die.
We're not losing to SciComm, you hear me?
Alright, so there's a treasure right here. An iron bangle. Alright, so this was the treasure that apparently Mysterious JG missed in his Let's Play. Which, take that, Mysterious JG. I'm sorry if you ever watch this. I am a big fan of yours. Oh, man.
Stay sharp.
Oh, you know it's serious when they're playing the battle theme outside of battles. And it transitions straight into the battle while the battle theme is still playing. Final Fantasy 13, you are really lucky. Your battle theme is amazing. Don't leave Hope. Hope, believe in yourself. Oh, Scar. I hope you love trauma, because you're definitely gonna have it.
Back us up.
He's not kidding with that particular sentence, by the way, because LeBro, I can actually heal you during battles. She actually uses potions. I don't know why I remember that, but apparently she does whenever your health is low. So don't bother wasting potions with Snow. Just wait for LeBro to use them. So literally you cannot lose any of these battles, no matter what you do. Like I call in for him in real life. Oh no, Hope is your other kin, isn't he? BRB. Alrighty, Green.
Alright.
We've gotten through every single battle, and we have yet to get a ranking below 5 stars. And again, it's super easy to do that. I just imagine he shoots up in the air and it accidentally shoots the airship's cockpit and it suddenly like crashes down. That should have happened.
Heroes don't run from fights.
Oh my god. These guys are gonna kill themselves one of these days. So yeah, what Final Fantasy game can you say where you fight a behemoth in literally the first hour of the game? Not many. Behemoths are usually seen as end game battles, but there is a beta behemoth that we have to fight literally at the beginning. Pretty tough, I will give it that. Yep, and there's LeBro with her potions. Where does she pull those potions out again, by the way? I may name my son or daughter Hope. I mean, it is a very unisex name, so yeah. Oh, she pulled the potion right out of her boobs. Okay. So they're fake. Oh, this music. Another thing that I really love about Final Fantasy 13, which not many people can disagree with, is the music in these games are absolutely phenomenal. I forget who the composer is, but he did a wonderful job with this game. I'm the protagonist, I can't get hit. Or main character. Yeah, don't you know main characters can't be shot down unless they're... Okay, I was about to spoil something, but no, I'm not going to.
We got trouble! No kidding. Stay down.
I'm gonna pull Resident Evil over here. I'm an Amazon. I'm an Amazon! Oh, no. Apparently I'm not an Amazon. I'm just a Chris Redfield. Oh. But I know who the real Amazon is.
I told you, didn't I? Moms are tough.
Okay, I get it. You're tough. You're a mother. So yeah, Hope's mom is a badass. Unfortunately, she is not explosive proof. And did I mention that Final Fantasy 13 has a very high death count? Yeah, very, very high. Oh, she shielded him from the explosion. Oh, what a nice woman. Oh god. You know, a different person would probably be laughing about how everyone is just sliding off of that bridge. I'm not that type of person. That's actually pretty horrific. Oh, if he only got pushed back a little bit farther, he probably could have gotten out of this.
Get him home. Please.
Hold on!
Yeah, I can't do that anymore. So did she like die from the explosion, or is she going to die from the fall? I guess it really doesn't matter. Because one thing that Hope did see is that she died after being let go from Snow. But it's okay because Snow dies. The end. What did I say about the characters experiencing a lot of trauma? Yeah. Now you understand why Hope is the way he is.
We have to move.
Right.
What was with that accent, girl? She sounded like she had a little bit of a lisp there. But you had one job, and he didn't do it good enough. Well, that was unfortunate. Meanwhile, back at the airship with Lightning and Sav. So did they like experience that explosion as well? Probably not.
Massacre. Those people won't even live long enough to die on pulse.
That was the idea.
Oh.
What?
Sanctum logic. They conjured up the urge to eliminate a threat.
So it was a scam.
I mean, why carry the danger all the way to Pulse? Why not just stamp it out here?
They were planning to kill everyone who was deported.
Execution masquerading as exile. That's all the Purge ever was.
And nobody would care because apparently there's no contact from Pulse considering they're enemies
How does the
of
government get
Cocoon.
away with pulling crap like that? And you knew this was gonna happen?
The Purge was SciComm. Private Sanctum troops, not the Guardian Corps.
Okay, what's the Guardian Corps now?
Guardian Corps.
Hey, that's my explanation, Saz. Or that's my reaction.
Post-Foul C and their lessee are enemies of the state. Tell a soldier to kill an enemy, and you really think it's gonna matter what uniform he's wearing?
Guess we're not gonna learn what a
Might have mattered to that
foul
one.
C or lessee is.
Couldn't shoot. Got himself shot instead.
Okay.
How about you? Order say shoot, you pull the trigger? Fine. Forget I asked.
No, I'm just really distracted by that one thing in the oh my god, I was kidding. She really was distracted. And now we have to fight a giant mecha. You know, this looks suspiciously a lot like the boss battle against the thing in Final Fantasy VII, where you fight after you deal with the second reactor visit. Oh man, this game is like a blatant ripoff of the intro to Final Fantasy VII. Which is fair, considering a lot of people like to consider Final Fantasy 13 as Final Fantasy VII, but done wrong. Yeah, this thing apparently really cares about killing Saz. At least we finally staggered it. A little trick about staggering, as long as you attack the enemy every time, at least every single second, they will be in a perpetual stagger motion where they won't be able to do much. Unfortunately, this isn't the type of battle where we can take advantage of that, considering we only have 2 party members. Later on, when we have 3 party members, it'll be a much easier time. People will decide to shit on Hope. Trust me, there will be a lot of people who will do that. There's a lot of people who already do that.
Attention Purge deportees. Attention Purge deportees. Put down your weapons and surrender immediately.
But you're gonna kill us if we do.
The will of the people of Cocoon. Should you attempt to flee, the Sanctum will employ every resource necessary to bring you to justice.
Because we really don't want this getting out to the public. Thank you for killing yourselves.
Sarah.
Oh, so the hunky himbo can survive, but not the mother?
What you were looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe she did die by the explosion.
The post-Foul C.
Also, nice CGI game. Everyone looks absolutely beautiful. Oh, there's Hope. Your first introduction of Hope's actual design. Scar. And the first introduction of my favorite character? Maybe? Depends on the mood, again.
Here.
Yeah, that boomerang is so bullshit. You should probably take this gun.
It's too much, isn't it?
It's okay, you can use your gay boomerang if you really want to.
Ciao.
Hey, wait!
And thus, he never uses the gun and will perpetually have to use the boomerang for all eternity.
Didn't you? But really, I was afraid. I was always afraid.
I'm getting that third-person storytelling in there, I see. Okay, so that's why his magic is the way he is. He wants to protect people. Yeah,
So,
not gonna lie,
you
yeah.
figure that post-Foul C is different from the Sanctums.
But you'll understand a bit later, Scar.
All things being equal, I just as soon keep one.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in this.
Time Time to jump.
Okay, so apparently that's like a foul C. Oh, I was wrong. She does use her gravity-defying powers at this point. Well, it was nice knowing you. Not really, but I like to say nice things. Oh, okay. I guess it. Damn, girl.
She can do it, so can we.
Dude, you don't have the technology to do it. You're literally just falling to your death, and you probably should just like dive. Okay, never mind. She literally didn't care. What if he was like an inch apart? I have to admit though, Lightning and Saz, they make a pretty interesting pair.
Come on, come on.
What did I say about the characters who look like actually important characters being the ones who survive? Well, I guess it didn't work for Hope's mother.
What about the others?
About that.
They didn't die. They couldn't have died.
Well, I don't know. We fell all the way from up there in a bridge, and everyone slid all the way down right after being hit by an explosion.
Hey,
What do
get
you
a grip,
think?
man. What's wrong with you?
So what if we've seen a lot of death at the moment? Who cares about that? You need to get a grip.
Get who home?
Oh, he's wondering about what she meant by that. Oh, that was Lightning and Saz's ship. Oh, nice,
Toss me that.
nice, what's the word?
Catch.
Continuity. Yeah, nice continuity there.
What are you doing? So what are you afraid of, huh?
What?
You're supposed to be the hero. She's waiting there, ain't she?
Yeah, let's just forget about me pointing a gun towards my best friend.
About time you picked her up.
He's marrying the giant Fal'Cie?
Yeah.
I mean, not the weirdest thing I've seen at this point.
There's our ride. Now you're talking.
Okay, so we're literally just gonna forget about the fact that he pointed a gun towards him. Alright. I bet that was supposed to mean something, but eh. So, yeah. Scar, I guess you now realize why Hope is such a Debbie Downer all the time. He kind of lost his mother, and he sort of blames Snow for it, considering Snow was the one who pushed, well, not really pushed. He's the one who offered his mother to help in the Civil War nonsense. So yeah, now we have more data logs. Let's read exactly what happened in the plot because we don't understand anything of what happened. The Warpath Home. The Purge is a Sanctum initiative designed to protect the stability of Cocoon by forcing potentially dangerous civilians to relocate to Pulse. However, the relocate... Wait, I was supposed to do a voice for this. I'm gonna voice it as Scarwood. The relocate... I can't do a Scar impression. I'll just do a random impression then. No, I'll do the girl's impression. The girl who was talking to Hope. However, the relocation is simply a facade to cover the massacre that ensued. Wow, that is totally not an Australian accent. I'll just do the accent anyways. The government's true goal is the brutal extermination of all possible threat to a peace of society. Having discovered the horrific truth, Snow leads the members of Nora against the government soldiers of Psychon. Inspired by the actions of this handful of brave young men and women, I'm suddenly going to a Southern Belle accent. This belligerent, what is that word? Belligered civilians take heart and join the battle in hope of returning to a normal life amongst the citizens who stand against the forces of Psychon. Is a mother who wishes for nothing more than to protect her son. Fallen innocence. Cocoon's citizens have always been terrified of Pulse and the mysterious horrors that are set to stalk its hostile wastelands. That fear is so great that if a Cocoon native were to have even the briefest contact with Pulsian elements, former friends and neighbors would consider they're corrupted and dangerous. In light of this fact, the Sanctum orders the purge of Bodum. I like how we're getting the mention of Bodum before we actually know about Bodum in the actual plot. We get it through data logs. Okay. Okay, game. It just further cements my opinions on something that we'll see later on. In an effort to remove all potentially pulse-tainted civilians. Accordingly, soldiers round up as all those identified as candidates. Apparently, I'm super excited now for relocation and inform them for their impending exile. However, SICOM, the elite army of the Sanctum military, then begins to massacre the helpless civilians. Ooh. This prompts Snow to lead the people in a rebellion against the army. Tragically, one of the civilians who decides to follow him, hoping to protect her son, dies in an act of saving Snow's. I think you mean like a bunch of other people died as well? From afar, the boy witnesses the moment of his mother's death in shock and disbelief. I made that really depressing. The Foul Sea awaits. A massive object is transported through the sky over the hanging edge. This object is a pulse vestige, a lower form artifact that had been nothing more than a Bodum landmark. 2 days ago, it was discovered that the vestige housed a long dormant pulse fal'Cie. Are we going to learn what fal'Cies are? Oh my god, they actually are explaining it. The fal'Cie had slumbered undisturbed on the outskirts of a cocoon city for centuries. The Sanctum decrees that the presence of the pulse entity and its corrupting magics have tainted the entire population of the city and ordered the purge. So essentially, because of the fal'Cie's presence, who is a fal'Cie from Pulse, all of the people who lived in this town known as Bodum, which is including all of our people in the game, were essentially forced to be deported in a ruse in order to execute all the people via government planning for some reason. No, not for some reason. Apparently this was all staged by the government in order to execute anyone who is purged. So, yeah. This government is pretty scummy. For different reasons, Lightning and Saz now make their way towards the very being that was the catalyst for so much tragedy. They did not explain this in the actual game, need I remind everyone? Snow, meanwhile, is crushed by feelings of guilt after many die under his command. He only emerges from his gloom when Godot reminds him that the fal'Cie is holding a certain young lady captive, and also when he points the gun towards his friend's face, which should probably freak out anyone. Who needs her hero now more than ever. I wonder who this lady is. Alright, so that's the story so far. And we actually learned a bit more from there as well. We actually learned about the...
Get your game face on.
I was just explaining, Godot. That's basically Snow's reaction at the moment. No, apparently his reaction is to just punch his fist multiple times. Is he wearing a corset underneath his shirt? I mean, he's showing off his pecs, which is pretty good in my book. But the corset kind of bugs me a little bit. The trench coat is nice though.
I hope everyone's all right.
And by that I mean the people who weren't with us, not the people who fell off of the bridge. Alright, Godot, I'm already starting to get annoyed by you. So it seems like we got a new weapon for Snow, which is the Power Circlet. Using the latest military-grade AMP technology, this emblem boosts the physical power of the wearer. So yeah, unlike most characters, Snow's weapon is a little bit unconventional. And by I say unconventional even though look at Godot just running straight into that. I say unconventional even though Hope uses like a boomerang as a weapon. But yeah, in terms of Snow's weapons, notice his back during the overworld, and now notice his back during the battle. Yeah, his weapons are the emblems on his trench coat. Not the gloves or the boots, which is what a usual monk would use in Final Fantasy. No, Snow's weapons are instead the emblem on his back. Don't tell me how that makes sense. Because it doesn't. In any case, we're fighting our first aerial recon, or at the very least, this is a aerial recon first for Snow. And they're kind of kicking our asses, but I don't really care. At least we didn't get to red health. Man, still doing great during these battles. I hear a treasure chest, which we cannot, lose at all because I want that achievement. Yeah, 100 gil. Again, don't get used to it. We're not going to be getting much gil for a very, you get the picture, long time. I love these battles, to be honest. Like the fighting is an upgrade to the basic turn-based. In terms of appearance, I would agree with you, Scar, but at the same time, the whole auto battling mechanics and the way the game plays itself more than anything is kind of bland and boring. I will have to agree with most people's opinions about it. It's one of the more unfortunate parts of 13, but you know, who knows. I personally enjoy the game's battle mechanics once we get to like endgame, because that's where the fun really happens. So yeah, once we get there, I will personally really love the battle system, but for now it is absolutely boring. But hey, at least it's simple. The mechanics are simple, the way you fight is simple. I'm sure you would like it, Scar. You know, I'm not saying you're simplistic, but you would probably enjoy that.
Where's the soul?
Oh, Snow's theme song. I love this theme song that's playing in the background, by the way. Don't worry, Falsey. I'm going to marry you soon.
Hey, Godot.
Yeah?
If you don't know who you've got to save, you just protect them all, right?
Something on your mind?
I don't know. How about all the people who died right in front of us?
Hero.
At least he's trying to give him a pep talk.
Yeah.
Oh, Snow. You are so dumb and such a one-track minded guy. I love Snow, honestly. I didn't love him during my first playthrough, but he definitely grew on me as time went on. During subsequent playthroughs. One would probably write him off as the dumb himbo that has absolutely no character development other than being a hero, and that's it. But you'd be surprised how deep that one-track mind can actually be. And by deep, I mean actually encouraging.
Since when do you care about kids?
Favor for a friend.
Okay.
Favor for a friend, huh?
Hey, Snow!
Apparently, Hope's mother's death kind of made an impact on Snow.
So, you really managed to use that thing?
Meanwhile,
You're done when we are. Ow, what? That's the one.
Didn't you have something to tell him?
no, I wanted to stab him. That's what I wanted to do.
But
I'll go with you.
what?
Random chick is being surprisingly supportive for him.
No idea what it was like.
I mean, I would be supportive for a guy who literally just lost his mother right in front of him. So, yeah.
For Nora.
Cringy.
Kids.
I mean, I would do that, so. I say cringy, but I'm basically cringy as well.
Let's keep it that way, all right?
He wants to protect the kids. Probably because the mother asked him to get him home. Him? Who knows? He doesn't know. Oh my god, if Maluki was here, he would probably lose his mind because due to the thing we were talking about earlier, Scar, with involving him.
Say hi to the missus for me. You go skirt chasing, I take care of the kids. Some husband. Dinner's on me.
Who talks like this?
When's the wedding, lover boy?
Well, don't worry, none of you are invited.
Ouch.
Still going. You serious? What about me?
Hey, what about me? I still need to get my character development.
Catch you later.
And she never does. And there goes Hope's chance of talking to Snow. Quick, Hope! Use your bandana! Use it as a rope to get Snow! Oh look, we're playing as Hope. Don't get used to it. We won't be playing as Hope after this portion for a very, 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 very... You get the picture. Long time. He was too foolish. Look at his sister, all hopeless. Just kidding. Wait, who? Which sister? Yeah, but I don't want to be safe. I want to go towards that guy.
Stop running around, kid.
Okay, I'll just stop running around. All right.
Round you can carry. Is there anyone else who can fight?
Yeah, look at me. I'm stop running around.
Don't worry, we got you covered.
Yeah, sure thing, bud.
You can do it, hero.
It's not like I... Wait, why are you calling me hero? I literally did nothing. Nah, I think I'm just gonna keep running like this. You know, I saw you there too during the death of my mother. I know that you're also partially responsible because I blame the people who got her involved in all this, even though she wanted to go by herself.
Every round you can carry.
So yeah, I blame you as well. You're just as part as my revenge as Snow is. Oh, Hope.
To Nora.
Sure, buddy.
They all fell.
Oh wow. Apparently everyone witnessed that.
Satcom's nothing.
Hope is so short. He's even shorter than Maki. I just noticed that. I mean, he is like 16, I believe.
Please, everybody keep calm.
Keep calm, everyone. I said keep calm. As he bangs his gun on the metal.
Going down without a fight.
Yeah, just like the fight that cost my mother's life. Okay, I sure hope there's more deaths like her.
What's done? Just
Hope
have
is
to
so
survive.
judgmental, apparently.
Don't face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me.
Okay, apparently this girl is having oodles of development herself.
Chance to reload.
Dude, you might want to calm down. This girl is having a surprising amount of development for an NPC.
Armor's no match for Nora.
Oh, it's like a mantra now.
Stay with your family.
Oh, stay with my family, huh? Oh, gee, well, I sure wish I could do that, Maki. Yeah, thank you for telling me that. All right, I better just go find my family then.
This to Nora.
Why can't we play as Hope for a while?
I'll get you all some.
I won't spoil that, Scar. You'll see. So how are you, girl? So, I know my mother died, but, you know, you're kind of cute. Do you think you wanna be my new mother?
Okay?
Oh my god, Hope is a playboy.
I want to tell him. It's just that.
Also, I love his voice. Not gonna lie.
Say, you know how to fly this?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I'm a little kid. I'm pretty sure I can fly a giant vehicle, even though the age of license is over my age.
That way.
To Snow's girlfriend. Alright, I guess. But I don't judge. Wow, he really is a playboy.
If we go in there, that thing could. It could make us Lassie. This
You
is- I
mean
don't think I can.
the type of Lassie that people get purged for? Oh, we're already getting purged anyway, so we might as well. And then it turns out he can't actually fly it. Oh, I guess I was right.
Get back here! You hear me? Hey!
Count this as my revenge for killing my mother. And thus, Snow is the only one left for his revenge.
It held our future. And our fate.
Okay, so now all of our characters are inside the vestige. Which is apparently a foul C. And also Snow's fiance. I don't think it's actually Snow's fiance. I'm just that's apparently what the game tried to imply though. Oh, so I guess we get to hear their crash off screen. Too much to animate, I suppose. I think I like this spot. It was literally on her butt.
Oops. Well then.
Wah, 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 wah. Well, this is pretty futuristic-y.
Just us.
What did you expect?
I pray to the Dalek. That looks like what she's doing.
Even soldiers know not to go near the foul sea. You become a pulse l'Cie, and you're finished.
What do you mean, finished?
Haven't you heard, Miss...
Vanille.
Huh?
My name. And yours?
That's a stupid name.
Hope.
Okay, maybe I'm not one to talk.
Thank you.
Vanille and Hope.
Well, since we're here...
I remember back when I didn't play Final Fantasy 13 and I just looked at the trailers, I originally thought Vanille's name was Vanilla. Which I guess that's what they were going for, but at the same time, Vanille kind of sounds a little bit exotic, so yeah, that's fair. The Pulse Falsi.
Check this out.
Hey! Vanille, where are you?
It's glowing! Oh my god, and this is like our first instance of what I like to call Vanille's moans. Vanille's moan hour.
Well,
Listen to her.
That's...
The voice actress apparently had a lot of fun with Vanille. It's like the writers really tried to imitate a Japanese anime girl with an English dub. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So yeah, instead of Hope, we now play as Vanille. Ooh, and if you notice, Vanille actually has 3 ATB bars. I guess that's one of her big perks. Because apparently all the characters need to have their own perks. Lightning has the ability to use Blitz. Saz has dual hits with every attack he does due to his dual pistols. And Snow, I guess, has his hand grenades.
back to exploring.
Oh, and apparently that staff can just
Better stay close.
monitor, or what do you call it? It can basically detract its size. It's almost like it was made for Vanille herself. So Scar, how disappointed are you in the fact that we don't get to play as Hope at all? In any battles at the moment. At least we get to play as the adorable anime waifu. Which, by the way, she's legal, unlike Hope. Oh yeah, and Hope actually uses his boomerang for attacking. Which is something you don't do nowadays in Opera Omnia due to him mostly just using magic nowadays.
Scary at all.
Yeah, he never actually... Something I just noticed, he never actually uses his boomerang anymore in any of the attacks in Opera Omnia. It's mostly just for specific magic. I am disappointed like beyond sad. Okay, so I'm going to show us something really cool. In battles, if you sneak attack the enemies from behind, you can actually do a preemptive attack, where it causes their chain bonuses to go all the way high. And you immediately start the battles with an instant stagger, which is essentially like killing the enemies instantly. So, yeah. Makes certain battles really easy. So is he going to use protect? Protect? Scar, what is this protect you speak of? What is this magic? I don't... Our characters don't know magic. They're normal human beings. Obviously, Scar. Hope is a normal boy. All he can really do is use the power of his boomerang to attack enemies, which is 100% not magic. But no, no, seriously though, they can't use magic at this point. You'll understand why a bit later. He never uses it unless you have it maxed out. Yeah, exactly. I guess they realized that the boomerang was a bit stupid. Look at that. He's like defying the laws of gravity by using his boomerang and causing it to like bend its direction with his mind in a way. Because look at that. He just bent it with his mind. Hope, where did you get this boomerang? And where do you fit it in? He like detracts the size and then he puts it in his pants. Hope. How big are those pants? Apparently there was nothing over here. Oh my gosh, she walks so daintily. She walks so girl-like. Oh, now they're talking about preemptive attacks. Yeah, whatever, game. Oh. Can we actually get a preemptive strike here? Let's see.
Where is he?
Oh, no, unfortunately they saw us at the last second.
You're gonna regret this.
Doesn't matter.
Goodbye.
So as it turns out, the little girl and the little boy are apparently the most powerful duo in this game so far. I'm kidding, though. I'm kidding. Lightning and Saz are apparently the most powerful duo. But the fact that this girl and boy can essentially take on enemies and monsters alike is pretty cool. Oh, another one of those ships. One of those air motorcycles. Which probably means that this is where Snow landed. Because he actually used one to drive here.
Where do we go now?
Surprisingly, no, Scar. There's a completely different reason.
You're gonna regret this.
Everyone's gonna regret this. You're gonna regret this, Hope. Snow's gonna regret this. Lightning's gonna regret this, even though I have no idea who she is at the moment. And Saz? Oh, he's definitely gonna regret this. Also, let's talk about Vanille's weapon real quick. She's using a staff where its horns fly off of the staff and
I'm tougher than you thought.
aim at the enemy like as if it's Zhang Chunhua using her wire gloves. I don't know. I guess we got the two characters whose weapons are extremely fantastical, so I guess the game did good there. Also, Vanille's fashion sense. I did say that most of the NPCs had some of the most outlandish fashion senses ever, so I guess it makes sense for Vanille to have it.
Not so much.
You really don't get it.
I mean, I'm pretty ditzy, so...
Pulse Falsey and Lissy are bad news. That's why Cocoon kicked them out. Live too close to the Falsey, one-way ticket to Pulse. That's the purge in a nutshell.
Her
If they catch us here,
accent
they'll
just
purge us
keeps
too.
changing.
No problem.
What's my... Pulse is hell on Earth.
Is it really?
We'll be okay. Calm down.
Oh, she's like Pally.
Get off me.
No matter what, just hug, and everything will be better.
Sarah? Can you hear me?
Oh,
Where are you?
well, at least we're pretty much 100% confirmed that he's here. Snow, why are you calling your fiance's name? Clearly, you are already inside of her.
Don't worry, Sarah. Your hero is on his way.
Oh, that's so sweet. Wait, how powerful is Saz? I never found him useful when I saw him on FF7. Let me give it to you this way, Scar. Saz is one of the few non-LD characters who can take on a Lufenia. So that should probably sell you on Saz. He's a fantastic AoE damage dealer. He grants tons of auras, about the same auras as Sarah, except... Well, no, not the same auras as Sarah. I should stress auras that are just as good, depending on the situations, similar to Sarah. So, yeah. But I remember him telling him how powerful he is. Yeah, Saz is really good. And the best part of it is, like I said, you don't even need to get an LD for him because he doesn't have one. He's just that good without it. This place is pretty huge, I have to admit. So, oh, enemies, okay. Finally, some action with Snow without any of his other party members around. Wow, it's almost like they didn't want us to get a preemptive strike due to that guy looking at us. How am I supposed to get through this? Well, it's a good thing punching my arm makes me think real good. Considering he's the himbo. Thinking no, not his strong suit. Of.
Nothing to worry about.
I still can't get over the fact that the emblems on his coat determines the power of his weapons. Also, I never actually questioned this, but what is that on his shoulder? On his left shoulder? Is that like... Is that a step counter?
You see that?
I mean, it would make sense for his personality. He would probably be all about the weights. This song will never get old. Oh, and look at that. We're finally getting victory animations or victory screens. Or not victory screens. We've already had those. We're getting the victory theme song, which in my opinion is one of the worst in Final Fantasy. Just my opinion, though. Let's see. No treasures, huh? Well, this would have been the perfect opportunity to actually have treasures around here, game, but I guess not.
Just hold on, Sarah.
So I guess his fiance is Sarah, or at least named Sarah. A subtle nod to the Final Fantasy franchise if you're a fan of it, considering there's always gotta be some character named Sarah in Final Fantasy. Well, in most Final Fantasies at the very least. There's a Sarah in Final Fantasy 1, a Sarah in Final Fantasy 3. Usually they're princesses. There's a princess who's also Sarah in Final Fantasy 9. And, well, this game. Technically, this Sarah isn't a princess, though. How long have you guys been here?
I think the door is winning.
Why didn't I listen?
I love his sense of humor.
Beg your pardon?
Does she have, like,
This is my fault.
bullet holsters on her knuckles?
Cover your ears.
Huh? Oh, blast charge? Oh, wait, hold on. All right, hold. All right, go for it. Make it happen.
Oh, you're so kooky.
I'm so sorry. Please let me in. Please?
What a guy says on the third date. Please, just let me in for a little bit. I'll be gentle.
What? How'd you open it?
So apparently whispering to the door worked.
After you.
I don't care anything. It's not that I don't like you or anything, Buck. Oh no, Sauce better not be a tsundere. Hey, so now we're getting introduced to the shrouds, so I can explain these as we go along.
Most folks can learn a thing or two about
So yeah, these are shrouds. Whenever you use these, you get certain effects in the overworld. If you use a Fortisol, it casts bravery, faith, and haste, which are all buffs, and they take on at the beginning of a battle when you actually encounter one. Deceptisol essentially is in the name, where it makes you completely invisible to enemies, so you can try to get past them without having to fight. It's useful sometimes. I never really use Fortisol or Aegisol or any of those souls anymore in any of my subsequent playthroughs. In my first playthrough, I kind of like spanned them because I didn't really know any better, but I'm going to try not to use them in this particular playthrough. But we went through a lot of events, so let's see what's in... Oh yeah, we're in Chapter 2 now. We got to finish the data logs of Chapter 1. Into the Vestige. Snow still cannot shake his feelings of guilt despite his efforts to protect the purged deportees from the Sanctum forces. Many have fallen. The death of one woman in particular haunts his thoughts. A mother fighting for the sake of her son, who gave her life to save Snow. Did she technically give her life? I mean, she was like right in front of the blast, so I guess... Okay, I shouldn't probably knock the sacrifice of a dead person, so... Even if they are fictional. In the moments before her death, the woman begged the leader of Nora to take care of her child, but slipped from Snow's grasp without revealing the boy's identity. Although she probably did pass out as soon as she finished that sentence, so yeah. She probably couldn't have said it even if she managed to hold on. With Godot's help, and by help I mean pointing a gun straight at his face, Snow breaks out of his depression. He figures that if he just goes ahead and protects everyone, then the woman's son will be saved as well. After checking to see if the children are safe, Snow leaves the waning battle to his... So that's why he was so interested on the children's safety. Again, this kind of explains a lot of stuff, a lot of subtle hints to the character development that you don't really get in the main game. To his fellow Nora members, and sets off with new determination towards the Vestige. His fiancée is still held captive by the Pulse Fal'Cie. A boy watches him leave, eyes filled with rage and loathing. His grief-stricken mind, Snow is responsible for his mother's death. So yeah, obviously Hope blames Snow for his mother's death, which technically wasn't his fault. But at the same time, who else is it gonna blame? Godot? He already blamed Godot and he already got his revenge. She's so nice but also basic, like she seems like she's trying to dodge what happened to Hope. I mean, in order to help someone, sometimes you gotta do that. That's what she said. I missed the "that's what she said" joke. Oops. For centuries, a Pulse Fal'Cie has slumbered undisturbed on the outskirts of a cocoon city. On the day the lower world entity is finally discovered, Cocoon's peaceful society is plunged into chaos. I really wish they actually explained all of this in the main plot. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to keep saying that every time it's true, because this is true. They never explain any of this. They didn't even explain about the fact that this vestige was found. Game, really. The government judges the city's inhabitants to have been tainted by the unwelcome guests, and begins a merciless campaign to expunge both the facility. Wow, I really can't read right now, can I? Fal'Cie and the corrupt citizenry from the face of Cocoon. Instead of the exile they were led to expect, the civilians face extermination at the hands of the Sanctum army. The people attempt to fight back, but are hopelessly outmatched by the army, or by the military. Lightning cuts her way through this battlefield, doggily followed by the desperate Saz. Snow, meanwhile, seeks to rescue his fiancée, and a boy, spurred by the dreams of revenge, pursues Snow with the help of an unusual young lady. Though driven by separate goals, their paths all lead to the same end, the Pulse fallacy. So that's a good way to end chapter 1 in a way. So with chapter 2, oh goodness, there's a lot to read. In pursuit of Snow. Hope has fallen into a panic. In his single-minded pursuit of Snow, he has rushed into the lair of a fal'Cie and is only now recalling the terrible nature of the being that lurks within. The being that works within. Does that mean he's now learning about the true terror of death? Or maybe that's jealousy, because that's usually what the beast that lurks within, or trope meaning is supposed to be. The Pulse entity could use its power to curse them, to turn them into l'Cie. Pulse l'Cie are doomed servants of the fal'Cie who created them, despised and feared by the people for Cocoon. Oh, so that's why being a l'Cie is a bad thing. Okay, so it's not just being deported, it's just being cursed to be a servant for all eternity. Hope's companion Vanille seems unconcerned by this dreadful possibility. Bemused by her indomitable cheerfulness, basically her optimistic personality, he nervously follows her in search of Snow because he really can't do anything else at this point. Like, there's really nowhere else to go. It was Snow who convinced his mother to fight. It was Snow she was protecting when she died. And it is Snow who must be made to pay. Oh goodness, Hope. Where men fear to tread. Yeah, excuse me. To the citizens of Cocoon, the lower world of Pulse is a hell rife with unknown territory or terrors. And recently discovered Pulse fal'Cie is an invader from that hell. So it's like the planet of Pulse right underneath Cocoon, I guess? Or is planet just another term for it being like literal hell? I have no idea. In an effort to quell the growing panic in the wake of the entity's discovery, the Sanctum initiates an extreme measure known as the Purge. Under this initiative, not only is the fal'Cie to be cast out of Cocoon, but all of the civilians living nearby as well. Any person coming into contact with the lower world beings' foul energies could already be corrupted, and no potential enemies of Cocoon can be allowed to remain. So it's basically like the demons who possess people in that time I was reincarnated as a slime. Which is topical considering me and Scar watched that today. The ensuing deportation claims the lives of countless civilians, Hope's mother among them. After witnessing her death and chasing Snow into the Vestige in a blind rage... Wait, was he really blinded by rage? It was more like he was nervous by Vanille touching him from behind all the time. Hope suddenly realizes that he may soon share the same fate as a Pulse l'Cie, relocation to the world below. I mean, he already was, so... Vanille, however, calmly accepts the situation and lends her support to the distraught boy. Unaware of his young pursuers, Snow begins exploring the arcane halls and chambers of the shrine-like vestige in search of his captive fiancée, Sarah. So yeah, we got her name, it's Sarah, who is his betrothed. Open doors beckon. So are we gonna get an explanation for why that door opened for lightning? The Pulse fal'Cie, an entity that threats the peace of Cocoon's society, holds Snow's fiancée captive. As the determined Snow delves ever deeper into the alien structure, Lightning and Saz arrive at the Vestige after fighting their way through waves of Sanctum forces. The unlikely duo, yeah, you got that right, process is halted by an impassable gate, which finally opens as if in response to Lightning's whispered words of apology, which is weird. Did her plea reach the mind of the fal'Cie, or was another being responsible for opening the portal? Saz follows the ex-soldier into the Bastille. She literally is Cloud. Okay. Bemused by the lack of explanation. Apparently, Saz is also bemused, just like Vanille. But driven on nonetheless by a purpose he has yet to reveal. When was this established that he had a ulterior motive? Okay. Well, I guess that's a thing. Hey, Arsenal! Good to see ya, buddy. So Sarah is like Hope's guardian or guide. You'll see, Scar. You'll see. So we got our story for now.
There you go, stomping off on your own again.
Okay, Stas, why don't I just stay behind you and you stomp ahead for me, okay? Go on. I can be right behind you. I can wait.
A certain soldier feels like taking care of all the fighting.
You know what? I do. I really do. Not at all. Not at all. In fact, I'm just gonna run right into this encounter right now with no reaction whatsoever. Oh, please let this blitz actually hit other people. And it did! Yay! A blitz that's actually useful. Good job, game. GG. At least these battles are at least a little bit harder, considering we're fighting just nothing but these Pantherons. But they do give absolutely nothing, so this is kind of like a useless fight. Unfortunately, fights in the tutorial section of this game give no items, so you're literally just fighting these battles just to progress, and nothing more, nothing else. Oh, well, apparently you do get items. Okay, fudge me, apparently. Stick my foot right into my mouth. Well, in that case, why don't we actually fight these guys? Okay, Saz, but what if there's like a treasure in the middle of the road? I want to get that treasure. Zwerg Scandroids. These things are actually really adorable. Look at them. Look at them. They're like chubby little nanodroids. And they make such the cutest noises. And also have tiny little feet that just boop, boop, boop all over the place. Wow, you can tell I'm tired. I'm making barely any sense tonight. Well, at least we got a Phoenix down. Alright, so considering there's no treasure around here, yeah, we can just move on. Okay, well, not like we had a choice of moving on, considering this thing just ambushes us immediately. Myrmidon. The thing gave us a lot of trouble earlier, considering it just targeted Saz and did continuous damage. Oh, speak of the devil, he's actually targeting Saz now. You know, enemy, if you wanted to do consecutive damage and actually put us in a very bad spot, you probably should have focused on one person at a time instead of just changing your target. In any case. Just a single potion and this thing is absolutely nothing. At least that was more exciting than the other battles. And we still got no items. Okay. Do we have to fight another one up here? Do we have to fight Doggles? Or not. Okay, we could just... Oh, but we do have to fight these things, considering there's a treasure right there. Hey, at least they're being diverse with the enemies now. 2 droids with a doggo? Game, you are spoiling me now. Oh, hey, David. Did see this game on Steam Store. Mostly it's only $16 on there. Tempted to buy it. Well, have you ever tried out Final Fantasy 13 or know anything about Final Fantasy 13? If you like Final Fantasy, then I recommend it, but Word of warning, you may not like the battle system or the mechanics or the story, depending on how you enjoy Final Fantasy stories. Ooh, that's actually really good, the Gladius. Especially since we know no magic whatsoever at this point. Although the weapon does look pretty bland when in actual battle. Like, look at that, that's a sword. Looks more like a popsicle for some reason. Actually, it kind of reminds me of Cloud's hanging edge weapon from 7. Wait, hanging edge? No, that's the location from this game. Hard edge, that's what it is. Hard edge. Yeah, the sword hard edge from Final Fantasy 7. That's a pretty cool looking sword. At least the music is still good. I will continue to say this. Blinded by Light, best battle theme in the franchise. Will never get old and will never make a battle feel boring. Even if the battle system can be boring during the beginning. Played it on Xbox but made it halfway of the game. But waiting on Final Fantasy XI Zodiac to be on sale. Wait, you're getting... Oh, Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac. Okay. You probably meant Final Fantasy 12. Yeah, that's a really good game.
Might be some soldiers trapped in here too.
I wholly recommend
They'd
12.
probably be l'Cie by now. Huh? Not even human anymore. Just post l'Cie. Enemies of Cocoon.
Well, luckily for you, Saz, we read the data log. So we know what that actually means. Maybe. There's probably a lot we still don't know.
There's the next one.
But I gotta admit, in my first playthrough, I didn't actually read any of the data log sections. Now that I'm reading it in this playthrough, I'm learning so much that I didn't even know in the beginning of the game. Like, I had to actually wait for hours, like 20 hours into the game just to learn certain things. Nope, the data log just explains all that for you, and we already got a lot of context for certain terms like l'Cie. We know what Bonum is, which will not be explained for a little while. So yeah, good thinking on my part, actually deciding to read the data logs. Is there anything over here? Nope. Then why even bother having those sections, game? Well, at least it seems like an easy hallway to get through. Okay, so I'm gonna try something a little bit risky. Can we have these guys turn around now? Okay, they seem to be going back into position, or not. Okay, apparently they're just going to be staring at us. I was hoping I'd be able to get a back attack from these guys, but it doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe I can. Hey, okay. It worked. Haha, taint punch. Punch that doggo right in the taint. And then exploded it. Oh, watch out, everybody. This is explicit video footage here. Yeah, I'm gonna activate this. Hell yeah. What was with that grunt?
All right.
Well, that was easy. Oh, well done. Okay.
Baby. Your hero's on the way.
Just defy the laws of physics by jumping snow? Okay. Not gonna say anything there.
Hang on, baby. Your hero's on the way.
Oh, that is a really long echo. Oh no, Snow screaming actually activated the stairway. Who would have known?
He is here. Calling himself a hero.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit, so can we just move along?
He's coming our way.
It's really
should I do?
hard to imitate her
Tell me
accent.
what you need to.
Mostly because she manages to change her accent every sentence.
Change what happened.
We could just run away.
If you have time to worry, then run. That's what my favorite hero, Sonic, always said. Call me when hope comes up. Well, luckily, Scar, you called it. Do like Snow's class. Mostly he's a tank, and also his Esper summon is Shiva Sisters. Yeah, he is a really cool classification in terms of what he gets. He's like, okay, in terms of the Final Fantasy job classifications, he's the monk, but he also works as the tank in this game, which is, it fits his character. It really does fit his characterization. So I think they did a really good job with Snow in terms of gameplay and story integration. Also, can't go wrong with the Shiva Sisters, especially with what they become, if you know what I mean. Oh wow, we almost missed that treasure. Huh. Well, it's a good thing we came back over here. Oh, he misses his mother. Hell yeah for preemptive attacks.
No daydreaming now.
Her weapon is still the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Also, is it just me, or does she seem really adept at being able to use it, despite only finding it like 5 minutes ago? Oh wow, I was completely wrong. We're getting items all throughout these battles. Ooh, and a Fortisol. Okay. Not that useful during the tutorial sequences. In fact, the game is actually trying to trick me into using it, so I won't use it. Oh yeah, we skipped the battle. Which I really don't care about, considering we're not getting any experience points whatsoever. Be a man, Snow. We're fighting these things with no preemptive strikes. Man, these two have the weirdest fantasy weapons in the entire game. A boomerang that can defy the laws of gravity, and a staff that can defy the laws of gravity by being a ranged weapon. And I don't mean it being able to conjure magic. Vanille's weapon is a little weird. It's a staff, acts like a whip. It does, doesn't it? Like a 4-pronged whip. It's kind of like a Cat O' a Cat O' attached to a staff. Okay, now that I say that, it actually does sound pretty cool. I won't deny that Vanille's weapon is really cool. For a fantastical weapon that would make no sense in reality. Then again, you could actually use a boomerang as a weapon, so. Yeah, Scar, his boomerang can fold up. Unlike an Opera Omnia, where he just stuffs the entire boomerang down his pants. Oh god, it's zombies! Zombos! When did we get into Resident Evil?
What are they?
See, you failed. This is what happens when Lassie don't complete the focus the Fal'Cie gave him.
Well, it's a really good thing we read that data log about Lassies, because I now know what Lassies actually are. Should I be in voice chat to help narrate? No, I'm not actually in the voice chat. Also, it's getting pretty late, so as a word of warning, people, I will be stopping the stream in a little bit. So as soon as we get to the next save point. Oh, they're playing Snow's theme in the background. Oh, I love it when they play Snow's theme. One of my favorite theme songs. Snow's theme song, Blinded by Light, the Blinded by Light different rendition. There's so many songs in this game that are just absolutely amazing. Oh, come on. I wanted to hear more of that song.
How'd you get in here? You gotta leave. Okay, listen. Find some place to hide and keep quiet. Once I find Sarah, we'll all leave together. You'll be home in time for dinner.
You...
He's just not making this better for himself, is he?
Who's Sarah?
Oh, hey, Druid.
My wife. Future wife, that is. She's a Pulse Lassie.
Oh, so you're not marrying
She's
the
here
entire
somewhere,
Fal'Cie?
along with that Fal'Cie.
Okay.
I gotta find her and set her free.
What's wrong with you? Why do you want to help a Lassie? They're the enemy.
Huh?
How can you save a Lassie? You're not...
Just say it.
That's insane!
Just say it. He's not gonna say it.
Probably.
Of course he wouldn't say it.
I'll be back.
And thus the plot was prolonged for another 20 hours.
Should we wait around?
I'm kidding. 15
I'd rather
hours.
go to Pulse.
It's essentially
Why is
saying
this
I'd rather
happening
go to
me?
hell.
When they found the Fal'Cie the other day, we were just visiting Bodum.
Hey, we actually know what Bodum is.
The army took us, threw us on that train. Because of that guy, Mom is...
Is Final Fantasy 13 just another Final Fantasy 7? I mean, they both have similar story beats.
He wants to help
Yeah,
a Lassie.
the entire intro of this game is essentially just a Final Fantasy 7 callback.
Hey again.
Hey,
The beginning battle with
let's go.
Lightning and Saz was essentially akin to
Talk to him, Hope.
Cloud and
Don't take
Barrett's
this chance. You regret it forever.
boss battle against the Scorpion robot.
Okay.
So, yeah, they pretty much copied Final Fantasy 7.
Let's go.
Except a little bit worse, but at the same time, the data logs surprisingly make the plot a little bit more interesting. Mostly because we actually know what's going on, instead of just being left in the dark.
Thought you came for a fight.
My sister.
Your sister?
She's a Lassie.
What? A Pulse Lassie?
Her sister's a Lassie, huh?
Captive. But I'll find her.
And apparently Snow's fiance is a Lassie.
What was her focus? When she became a Lassie, what did the Fal'Cie order her to do?
Oh, at least they explained what focus
It wasn't
is immediately.
blow up Cocoon or anything like that, was it?
I didn't ask.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know whose Lightning's sister is, Scar.
When a person gets cursed by a Fal'Cie, they become a Lassie, and they get given a focus, right?
And essentially servants to the Fal'Cie. Yeah, we wrote that.
How do I put this? If they don't carry it out, Lassie end up as one of those things. What I'm saying is, if your sister's gone that far,
She's a zombie now.
she might still. How can I?
He does not know how to say this. Just rip the band-aid off, man.
Lassie back into a human. Even if she completes her focus, there's no changing her fate. She'll live her life as a Fal'Cie slave.
Oh, I don't like that. I'm just gonna grunt, obviously,
Don't
looking
make her
mad.
suffer.
Just say it! Any Lassie. Anyone who might ever become a Lassie should be wiped off the face of Cocoon. It's people like you that started the Purge in the first place.
What do you mean by you people, Lightning? Okay. Wait, that's where it ends? Oh, that was a cutscene.
That's a seat, huh?
It looks like it's in so much pain.
Some
Yikes.
innocent kid gets picked as a Lassie one day and winds up one of those.
Okay, well, I didn't say my sister was a kid, but okay. Saz, whatever you say. I thought his hair would be a little more rounder. Honestly, yeah. Saz's hair is like afro and then flat at the top. Don't really get that particular type of style. Although, honestly, Now that I'm thinking about Saz with a completely round afro, that kind of doesn't work. I don't know, there's just something about his aerodynamic afro that makes him interesting. I can't believe I would ever say that those two words together. Aerodynamic afro. Ooh, power wristband. Strength plus 20 and physical wall 5. I assume physical wall 5 is some sort of defense. Negates the first 5 points of damage from physical attacks. Is that every single hit, or is that just the first hit in a battle? Doesn't matter, we get more strength, so I'm okay with that. And Saz, you can actually get the accessory that gives you more HP. Because why not? You already have a bunch of HP anyways. Oh, I was expecting to actually fight that thing. Well, they're zombies, so obviously they would be slow. Ooh, that's a pretty dark topic. If these guys were actually soldiers. Yeah, did I mention that Final Fantasy 13 has a really high death count? Because I'm pretty sure I did. And it's very true. Oh, well, this definitely looks different. A guest. So is it technically another Seath, or is it just a completely different thing? You did 4 times. Well, then I will say it a 5th time. There's a lot of death in this game. Scar, it used fire! It used magic! Oh man, our first magic using in the game. And unfortunately not by us. I like how I've been getting just 5 stars throughout this entire playthrough. So far. That will definitely change later. Ooh. Something tells me this might be the final stepway.
All this happened.
Wait, we're literally just fighting one of these things? I mean, okay. Why couldn't we have fought all the other ones as well? Also, Lightning and Saz were literally this close to falling down the stairs. I just imagine like a blooper of them falling down the stairs, and that would be pretty hilarious. Okay, well, luckily we can actually just ignore most of these things. Except for this one. It's okay, Saz. We'll just teleport to the stairway where we can have this climactic battle, and then teleport all the way back to where we were in the beginning. They just use cure on themselves. Do they want to prolong their suffering? Well, you know what? I'm not going to dilly-dally with you. Okay, yeah, this might require at least 1 potion. Did I say 1? Maybe 2 potions. Okay, definitely a potion. Or not.
I can't stop now.
Well, that was our first death. And might be a good time to explain that when your main character dies in this game, that's an automatic game over. So yeah, it's playing by the Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, the Persona 3 logic of if the team player dies, then it's pretty much over. I say Persona 3, but that's pretty much classic S&T in a nutshell. Okay, let's use the potion prematurely. There we go. Okay, that was actually some pretty good timing, because the fire hit us as soon as we used the potion. Use break reset. I wish she had break reset in this. Oh my god, they're spamming it like crazy. This is like one of the first few times where I'm actually using multiple potions. Oh, I didn't even notice one of them actually dying. You know, their bodies kind of make it look like they're wearing dresses. Not gonna lie. And yet, I still got 5 stars. Goody me. Okay, Scar, that was a lie. Technically, there is a way to have lightning use break resets in this game, but it requires a very specific weapon that I cannot get until way later in the game. Technically, it counts as break resets, but not really, so... Oh, and as it turns out, yep,
Time to go.
Sarah is not only Snow's fiance, but Lightning's sister.
That's a Pulse brand. That girl's a l'Cie.
I already told you that.
Pulse l'Cie are the enemies of Cocoon.
Why did he sound mind
should
controlled
die.
there for a second?
Listen, if she fails her focus, you know how that'll end.
And killing her is a mercy. You came.
Yeah, let's forget about that conversation. Let's focus on Sarah being there.
Sarah.
Also, I deleted the 3DS emulator. Was a little fun, but the update was sus due to the Norton alert. Oh, that's unfortunate, David. I haven't gotten an update at all recently, or really at all whatsoever.
I'm not your sister.
So,
You couldn't
I don't know what that
protect me.
business is supposed
It's
to be.
your fault she can save us. Sarah?
Oh no, Sarah's speaking cryptic.
Save us. Protect us all. Save Cocoon.
Sarah, would you mind explaining exactly how we're supposed to save Cocoon?
Anything. I'll do anything. Leave it to me, you'll see. I'll protect Cocoon. I'll save everyone.
Oh, Scar, she's totally pissed at him.
I'll make things right.
You just relax.
Thank you.
I guess I don't need to explain anything anymore. Alright, goodbye. And that's the end of Sarah. She's floating to the heavens. Essentially. Oh, now I regret really not explaining to them. That's why I'm going to cry. And she sheds a single crystal tear.
Sarah!
Which kind of looks like the Cascade badge from Pokemon. Oh, Sarah was a gym leader. Okay, so that was her profession.
l'Cie who fulfill their focus are transformed into crystal and gain eternal life.
And they also become naked, apparently.
The stories say. Sarah, sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams?
She just
Not sleeping.
she just pushed Saz off screen.
She's...
She's alive.
No.
The legend. Remember the legend. l'Cie who fulfilled their focus turn to crystal and gain eternal life. It's the same with Sarah.
Okay, but eternal life can also be taken as eternal crystal, which means she's technically dead inside of the crystal.
Promise to be hers forever.
Who knows?
I don't care how many years I have to wait.
It's over.
Our first snow punching.
Open your eyes and face reality.
You have to get out of this fantasy. You're not in a Final Fantasy game.
Does becoming a l'Cie really mean losing everything?
I don't know. Unfortunately, I can't speak to you right now, Vanille. What now? Exactly, Vanille. Oh, right. We've completely forgot about the army who's out right outside. And is probably murdering all of the civilians.
What is your status? Good to go. Resistance is under control. The assault was...
Oh yeah, they totally murdered everyone.
Leave no trace. The pulse vestige never existed.
Well, that just outright confirms the theory that the government using the purges as an excuse to destroy anything Pulse related without even sending it to Pulse. They're just gonna destroy the fal'Cie right here and now. With giant wires. I mean, okay. Whatever rocks your boat, army. when you're so good at the game, AI has to mash buttons to beat you. When you use the AI fights back. And I'm pretty sure she's safe considering she's Eternal Crystal. In fact, you should probably use Sarah as an umbrella.
Bring down the vestige in the foul sea right with it.
Aren't they taking it back to Pulse? That's what the purge was, right?
All they care about is getting everything from Pulse off Cocoon. Dead or alive, it's all the same.
Oh, she's distraught.
We can't stay here.
Apparently she really wanted to go to Pulse. I'm still surprised that they didn't even bother nuking it. Like, wouldn't it have been much easier if they just nuked the entire foul sea?
I'll be right back. Hold on.
Oh, you're talking to a crystal.
Let's go. Where you going?
Trench
Stay
coat.
with the foul sea. Got some things to talk about.
What?
That's right, I'm single and I'm already...
Are you out of your mind, kid?
I'm already...
Chew us up and spit us out.
I'm already
What do you
flirting with
want
other
me to
women.
do?
I can't even say it with a straight face.
What?
Lightning?
Yeah, let's just leave the children behind while we go deal with talking to a giant god. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, Sarah. You entered into the plot and immediately exited out by dying. How unfortunate. And we're supposed to care about her. A very unfortunate character in this game. Alright, so I wasn't kidding. They actually left the kids behind and instead just formed an entire party of the adults. Which is fair if they're going to fight monsters and what is essentially a god of their world. Which is exactly what the fallacy is. Although I'm thankful that they are playing Snow's theme in the background because I love this theme song. Oh, white. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce that. That's a different enemy. That's new. Although not as impressive, considering it just... Yeah, we killed it instantly. Okay. So much for it being a new enemy. Alright, something tells me we may need to take the white out first. Oh yeah, that was a good plan, considering it only had a tiny bit amount of health and defense. Oh, thank goodness it's not targeting me. I mean, oh no, Saz, why? How dare you? How dare you attack him? If only I was a healer. Oh, by the way, speaking of healing, another thing I probably should have mentioned, we automatically get healed of all of our HP after every single battle, which falls in line with the mechanics of the game, so it makes sense. Alright, so I believe this is the end of chapter 2 once we walk in here. I'm kind of tempted to go in there and continue for the night, but at the same time, it's getting pretty late, so... You know what, screw it. We're gonna finish this. For Sarah. For what she did. By telling us that we need to save Cocoon and then dying right in front of us. I mean... For Sarah! If she was supposed to be a martyr, then she did a pretty bad job at it because she didn't even explain what we were supposed to do in order to save Cocoon. Also... How did you guys get in here before I did? Weren't you guys, like, literally right behind me?
So this is the foul sea.
Oh my god. It's God! Essentially.
Sarah's a crystal now. You gave her a focus, and she did it. You got what you want. Now let her go!
No. Suck it. It's not even replying.
Please, turn her back. I'll be your lassie instead.
No, I am a lesbian.
Like this one gives a damn
I hate
what we're
himbos. Well, she's definitely angry.
It's this thing's fault the purge started, and it's people who are dying. Sarah told us to save Cocoon. That means this thing needs to die.
Wrong answer. And then it's going to activate. Okay. It apparently did not take that very well. So it literally was ignoring all of Snow's pleas. Wow, what an asshole. What an asshole of a god. And apparently mechanical as well. Okay. This thing doesn't look natural. It looks man-made. Well, the crystal's there, so. Of course, a Final Fantasy game always gotta have the crystal. Ooh. That look. She knows something. Yeah, if you're trying to get out of there, Hope, you might want to just make a run for it with instead of just staring at stuff around you. Yeah, because then that happens. Yeah, don't mind us. We're just gonna be out of the battle over here.
You really think you can kill a Fal'Cie?
I'm doing this for Sarah.
To punch God in the face.
Dodge.
Yeah, I gotta dodge the situation. Dodge.
I'm in.
Hey.
As long as you don't mind an amateur.
I mean, you're kind of older than us.
Got these things. Might as well use it.
Thanks.
The designs for his guns have always fascinated me because it looks like they have like unlimited holsters on them. So yeah, our first boss battle, Anima, which for people who have played Final Fantasy X probably recognize the name as Seymour Guado's. What did they call the summons in that game? Aeons, yes. So this boss is pretty simple. Just get rid of the manipulators on the left and right. Initiating regeneration, and Anima will start the regeneration process of those manipulators. This is your opportunity to do as much damage as possible because it won't do anything to you at this time. Overall, kind of disappointing for a battle with Anima. I was expecting a little bit more. Oh, and that's why you don't attack Anima when the manipulators are up, because it automatically does a counterattack. It does a lot of damage. Again, this is a tutorial section, so these bosses are obviously going to be easy. Also, this thing really does not look like Anima. I like the cape it has in the background, where it has like a bunch of feathers coming from the cape. That is honestly really cool. Not a fan of the one arm though. Oh no, don't target Anima! Don't target Anima! Okay, it's okay. Snow tanked it. Which is actually fitting, considering he's the tank of the game. Magical projection? Resonant magic? Oh, so this thing can use magic as well. Well, a type of magic, apparently. Do we have information on Anima? Oh, well, we get like a huge picture of it, so that's pretty cool. Nothing really important. Still here. Alrighty, Sky. What you talking about being an amateur? You saved the day, Sauce. Okay, if we hit it a little bit more. Ah, we got it. As soon as it was about to regenerate too. Hey, and we still got 5 stars. Sweet. And we got access to Doctor's Code, which I believe is a store. Too bad we won't use any of the stores. Okay. Now time for something extremely confusing that you will have no idea what's happening until a little bit later. After we kill Anima, the crystal still remains. Damn it, it always has to go back to crystals. And suddenly we get a giant mecha. I know no one will actually get this reference, but is that supposed to be Buena Belsa? I'm pretty sure it kind of looks like it. Again, no one will get that reference, but yeah. Oh no, he gave us tattoos. Okay, so if you've been paying attention, those tattoos are actually brands of Pulse Lassie. So essentially, we've been turned into Lassie. And suddenly foreshadowing to later events in the game. Because apparently that's a thing. And you know what else is a thing? Massive crystal explosions. Boy, I sure hope all of the civilians got out just in time. They probably didn't get out at all. Oh yeah, did I mention that there's a lake at the bottom of this place? Because the game sure didn't. Well, it's not a lake anymore. It's a crystallized lake.
When I couldn't see a future, and I was afraid. When the future was clear, and it hurt to see. I'd just close my eyes, and lose myself in happier days.
Sounds like an excuse, Vanille, to dodge the realities of life. Anyways, so I think we're going to leave it here, guys. We just finished chapter 2, I believe. Yeah, we just finished chapter 2 of Final Fantasy 13, which is, by the way, I should have mentioned this earlier, an 18 chapter game. I believe it's 18 chapters. I think it goes that high. But anyways, thank you all for coming today, for witnessing this very interesting yet surprisingly nostalgic game for me. Like I said at the beginning of this live stream, Final Fantasy 13 was like one of the first Final Fantasies that I played. So this game holds a very special place to my heart, despite the large amount of hate that it gets. But in any case, we will continue this live stream set series next time. Hopefully it's either this or Final Fantasy 11, because still waiting on Maluki and Revan to get back to me when they want to do Final Fantasy 7. So Final Fantasy 13 and 11 for me. So yeah, we'll be sure to do that. I'll be sure to do that next time. So thank you all for joining. I hope you have a good night, especially since it's literally midnight where I am. Like it turned midnight as soon as I'm looking at the clock. Wow, good timing. So yeah, good night everyone. Stay safe. Thank you for watching, and I'm horrible with intros, so I'm gonna leave it there. Goodbye everyone. Also, Lightning is best girl. Fight me. No, wait. Vanille is best girl. Wait, who is best girl? Dang it. There are so many best girls.